Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist, as well as a certified Pilates instructor through Polestar Pilates. I own ATL Pelvic Health, and I'm currently 12 weeks pregnant. So I'm going to take you along on this journey and show you some different exercises that I am continuing to do while I'm moving and feeling good on the Pilates equipment. So we're going to be starting on our backs today. We're eventually going to go into some bridging. So let's go ahead and set our reformer with 3 red springs. During pregnancy, I like to have a little bit more support with my bridging to make sure that I'm not dumping or getting any pain in my low back. But we're going to start first laying all the way down flat. Headrest can be elevated if that's more comfortable for you. You can always elevate yourself with a prop or a pillow if laying down flat isn't comfortable for you as well. And we're going to just start here with some breathing. With breathing, sometimes I like to bring one hand to my chest, one hand to my belly. Taking a nice deep breath in, feeling my lungs expand with air. My belly is going to rise up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, letting it all go. Inhale, opening up, imagining like a balloon is opening up underneath your rib cage. And then exhale, letting it all go. Another place I like to feel my breathing is with my hands on my rib cage right at my bra line. So as I inhale, I'm feeling my ribs open up into my hands. And then exhaling, knitting those ribs together. Let's do 3 more here. Two more breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then last one. Next, we're going to move into some pelvic tilts. So I like to imagine like there's a clock sitting on top of my pelvis. My belly button is 12 o'clock, my pubic bone is 6 o'clock, and we're going to start moving through those 2 positions on the clock to start. So taking a nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, tilting your hip bones up towards your face, feeling your low back flatten towards the mat. Pubic bone is rounding up towards your belly button, towards that 12 o'clock. And then we're going to release that tension. Feeling your tailbone reaching down long towards the carriage. Low back is maybe lifting off of the mat. And then we're going to exhale round. Sometimes people are really doing this really big movement where you can see my spine moving quite a bit. They're maybe pushing through their legs as they're trying to move. I want you to kind of slow it down, make this movement pretty small. Inhaling, release, and then exhaling, drawing up through your center as you tilt pubic bone up towards belly button. Inhale, maybe feel your pelvic floor open up as your sit bones widen. Low back lifts off the mat slightly. And then think of your pelvic floor like an elevator lifting up towards that second floor as you tilt up towards 12 o'clock. Now coming back through center, let's now imagine that 12 o'clock is our belly button, 6 o'clock is our pubic bone, our left hip is 3 o'clock, our right hip is 9 o'clock, and we're going to go into some nice circles. So you're going to inhale first, and then exhale, scoop and round up to our 12 o'clock. Let the left hip fall over to the mat, circle down around, over to the right, and then back up to center. Good. Challenging yourself to keep your knees still. So I don't want to see your knees circling with your hips and pelvis. See if you can keep your knees reaching up towards the ceiling as you circle your pelvis around. Let's do one more in this direction. Come through center. And then we're going to reverse. So fall over your right hip towards the mat, circle down around over to the left, and then back up to center. One direction may feel a little bit more easy than the other direction. You might feel like there's a certain part of this circle that feels a little stuck or sticky. See if you can send your breath to that part of the spine that maybe doesn't want to move as much. Really working on the pelvis, rotating and circling separate from the thigh bones. So we're trying to dissociate movement from our thighs with our pelvis. Let's do one more circle here. And then come through center. If your headrest is elevated, go ahead and lower your headrest down so that we're not putting any extra tension on your neck. Feet are going to be about hip bone width apart. Arms are reaching long by your side. We're going to move into some bridging now. I like to keep my heels on the foot bar. If you would rather have your toes or the balls of your feet on the foot bar, feel free. Taking a nice deep breath in, we're going to curl that spine, rolling back towards your belly button, and then begin to peel your spine up off the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Pausing at the top, taking a nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, melting your body down, one vertebrae at a time. See how still you can keep the carriage as you flow through these bridges. Inhaling first, exhaling, scooping, peeling up. Pausing at the top, taking a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, melt the body down, one vertebrae at a time. Good. We've got 3 more here. Inhale first. Exhale, peel up. And then float all the way down. Last 2 here. Your glutes and hamstrings should be working. Think about reaching those kneecaps long toward your toes, opening up through the front of the hips. On this next one, we're going to hold our bridge at the top and move into some single leg marches. So you're going to come up into that bridge. Think about long lines through your body. Take a nice deep breath in. Keep the hips level. Can you march your left leg to tabletop? And then lower back down. Switch sides. And lower. Good. We've got 4 more here on each side. Imagine like you're balancing a cup of water on your pelvis. Try not to let your hips drop from side to side as you're marching your legs. You should really feel the glute working. That's the foot that's on the foot bar as you march the opposite leg in space. Make sure you're not holding your breath here. We tend to do that when things get hard. Last set. Last side. And then melt all the way down. Great job. Now that we've fired up our glutes and our hamstrings, let's move into some tall kneeling arm work. So for the tall kneeling arm work, you can either do 1 red and 1 blue, or you can do 1 red. We're going to start facing the back of our carriage. Okay, so for our tall kneeling arm work, we're going to start facing the back of our carriage. You've got 1 red, 1 blue spring. You're going to come onto your knees. Knees can be up against the shoulder blocks. You can start with your hips towards your heels and just feel this tension of the springs and make sure that that tension feels good as you press your arms back. And then when you're ready, you're going to come all the way up into tall kneeling. I like to scoot a little bit away from my shoulder blocks, but again, know that this is a balance challenge. In this tall kneeling position, can you draw your pubic bone up towards your belly button? Reach the tailbone down, the back of the legs. Arms are going to be reaching long by your sides. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, press back. Inhale, release. Exhale, imagine like you're lifting a blueberry up through your vagina. And then inhale, release back. Stay open and wide across the collarbones. Think about pressing on that pinky side edge of your hand. We've got 3 more here. Last 2. And 1. Bring the carriage all the way in. You can hook your arms, straps on your hooks, and then you're going to swivel around, careful because you're on light springs, and we're going to now face the foot bar. Reach back for your straps. Again, option to use your small loops for a little bit of extra tension, or your long loops if the tension is feeling a little bit too heavy. You're going to press up into that tall kneeling position. I think I'm going to switch to my long loops for this one. You're going to lift up into that tall kneeling position. I like to curl my toes under, reaching my heels into the shoulder blocks. That's really going to help engage the back line of my body, including my glutes and my hamstrings. Elbows are going to be reaching long by your side, hugging in at the waist. Elbows are bent. We're going to serve the platter. Reach long with the arms, and then inhale back in. Okay, so we're going to now pivot around and face the front. Let's drop our springs so that we're on one red spring. Always option to keep a blue if that's feeling too light for you. You're going to reach back for your straps. You can either use your small or your short loops. Up to you. And then when you're ready, you're going to come up into that tall kneeling position. I like to curl my toes under, reach my heels towards the foot bar so I can really engage through my glutes and my hamstrings and that back line of my body. Elbows are going to be bent by my side, hugging in towards my waistline. Inhaling first and then exhaling, serving that platter out wide. And inhaling, controlling back in. Staying wide across the collarbone. Each time you exhale and reach those arms long out in front of you, can you zip up through the front side of your body? Can you keep your rib cage connected towards your hips so that you're not flaring the ribs? You're feeling some nice engagement through the low abdominals. Let's do 2 more here. Last one. Bring the carriage all the way in. You're going to spiral your hands out so that they come to form this diamond shape by your forehead. And then going into shave, you're going to press the arms out long. Let the elbows bend. Feel the shoulder blades glide together. Good. Let's do 3 more here. Last 2. And 1. Keep the arms reaching long. Carefully lower the arms down by your side. Bend the elbows. Sit towards your heels and bring the carriage all the way in. You can hook your straps on your pegs. We are done with them for today's class. And then the last thing we're going to do is finish up with some standing side leg work. So standing side leg work as we progress in our pregnancy sometimes may not be the most supportive thing for our body. If you're still pretty early in pregnancy and you're not having any hip or pubic bone pain, we do want to continue working and strengthening those outer thighs. So for this, I like to load up the springs with 2 red. We want the tension to be a little bit heavier. And then we're going to start on the back side of our carriage, stepping your foot first onto the stable part of your reformer, and then coming up all the way tall. Bringing your feet so that they're even, and bringing your left foot towards the edge of the carriage. We're going to start just pressing the carriage out, and then releasing that tension back in. Good. You can bring the arms into this as you press in and out. Think about pressing on the pinky side edge of your carriage think about pressing on the pinky side edge of your foot so that you can really start to feel some tension on those outer hips. This is pretty heavy tension for side leg series, so if it's feeling like too much tension for you, you can always drop down to 1 red and 1 blue. Make sure you're breathing here, thinking about reaching the pubic bone up towards your belly button, being nice and tall, connected from the front and back side of your abdominal wall. Let's do one more here. And then bring the carriage all the way in. Next, we're going to sit back into a squat. You're going to hold this squat position. Most of your weight is going to be on this right leg that is standing on the platform. Hands can be by your hips. You can have them in prayer. You're going to skate the left leg out to the side and then pull back in. Again, feeling most of that tension in the right leg. Imagine as if you're just doing a single leg squat on this right side, and then we're just moving the carriage in and out. We've got 3 more here. Last 2. And 1. Bring the carriage all the way in, stand up tall, step back with your left foot first, carefully lower down, and then we'll walk around and do the same thing on the other side. Stepping up with that left foot first, and then your right. We're going to start with both legs straight, equal weight in both legs. Send your weight out over the carriage, and then control back in. Good. Lengthening the legs out. Again, pushing pressure on that pinky side edge of your foot. Controlling the springs as you press out and resisting the springs back in. Making sure that we're not arching our back, but really staying zipped up and connected as we press in and out. We've got 2 more here. And bring the carriage all the way in. Sit those hips back for the last standing exercise. Keep most of your weight on this left leg. Right leg should be able to float up and down. And then you're just going to press the carriage out with the right leg and bring the carriage home. We are not skating out over our right leg for this exercise. So keep your weight centered over this left standing leg as you press out and in. Again, we're working on strengthening those outer thigh muscles, outer glutes, so that they continue to support us as we progress during our pregnancy. You've got 3 more here. Keep breathing. You've got this. Last 2. And 1. Good. Bring the carriage all the way in. And then stand tall. Step back with your right leg first. And then carefully lower your left. And that is it for our first trimester Pilates Reformer exercise series. I hope you stay tuned for more exercises that we will be posting. And I hope you stay tuned for more exercise and workouts progressions. I'm excited to go on this journey with you throughout my pregnancy and postpartum recovery. So we'll be diving into more first semester, second trimester, and third trimester specific exercises. You can follow along at atlpelvichealth.com or on our YouTube channel at ATL Pelvic Health. We would love for you to like, follow, and subscribe to our channel for all of our updates.